Welcome to the fourth episode of the Shi No Numa tutorial series. This episode is about how to camp the early rounds. There are many strategies you can use to camp the early rounds, like in dotcut or storage. However, I'm going to be talking about the more consistent strategies like Flogger camping and communications room camping, otherwise known as comms room. My advice to you is to ask yourself this question: what do I expect from myself in this map? The answer of this question will determine which strategy you want to pursue. If you were to say, for example, I want world record and want to play fast, then I recommend you play comms room to 30 and then switch to Flogger for the rest of your camp when you're learning the strategy, and then build up. So you started off camping at the 30 and then you went to Flogger, and then you moved to 35 and then you go to Flogger, then 40, then Flogger, then 45 and then Flogger. So you progressively get better. That's how I did it, and it's a good piece of advice. If your answer was, I want world record but I don't care how fast I am, then I recommend just playing Flogger, as you will only make minimal time saves from camping comms room. These are vague answers, but they should help you determine which strategy to pursue. Now let's get into the camping strategies. Okay, so for our first camping strategy, we're going to look at Flogger. Flogger camping is a very simple and easy camping strategy. However, it does require focus in order to play and survive it. If you lose your focus for even a second, deaths like this will occur. The difference in the footage I will show you is how the consistencies of the rounds change as you progress. Rounds 20 to 30 is very consistent and will require the most focus in order to prevent deaths. Rounds 30 to 40 is more consistent, however deaths can still occur. Rounds 40 to 50, it's rare to die at the stage unless you're running the strategy riskily, for example going under trap too fast or forcing too fast. Okay, so on to our second and last camping strategy that I will be focusing on is comms camping. Comms camping is the fastest consistent camping strategy there is. It is a difficult strategy to master, however not too difficult to learn at least the basics. You need to be focused during this strategy all the time. It is very rewarding when you camp there and get good RNG. However, it is extremely unforgiving if you make a single mistake. Here is an example of how I died on my first comms camp game back. Similarly to Flogger, the difference in the footage I will show you is how the consistencies of the rounds change as you progress. Rounds 20 to 30 is consistent enough to play. It is not easy to die, and it is also not hard to die. It is just in the middle. Rounds 30 to 40 is more consistent, however it is within this range of rounds where most people will down, whether it be trying to full horde, force drops, or just getting the classic waff fails. 40 to 50 is the most consistent strategy. It is very rare that anyone camps longer than 50. It is easy to full horde due to the consistency of the zombie spawns. However, deaths like mine can still occur within this period. So, welcome to the Flogger strategy. I'm going to be showing rounds 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and 40 to 50. Now, I'm not going to be showing all rounds. I'm going to be showing like 1 or 2 rounds from each. Because Flogger is not that difficult of a strat to learn, whereas comms is more difficult. So, pretty much, Flogger strategy from 20 to 30s will consist of you hitting the trap once in the low 20s and then twice in the high 20s, and then from high 20s onward, so let's just say 30s onward, you're going to be double hitting the trap during the round, and in the 40s you're most likely going to be hitting the trap more than you are going to be shooting. So pretty much 20 to 30, you're going to hit the trap once, and then you're going to finish the round off as you saw, or as you're seeing, with the ray gun and the waff. The good thing about Flogger strategy is you don't need to play with monkeys. It's very easy to play with monkeys. In fact, they're not necessary. They're just kind of a nice thing to have. The only reason you would want monkeys in your game is pretty much for the late game. They're extremely useful when recovering from downs. But if you're trying to get used to the map and you don't get monkeys in your game, don't quit out. Just keep playing. it's just a waste of a game, and it's a waste of your time. You need as much practice as you can get. Even I still play no monkey games. But yeah, so you're pretty much just gonna play like this for the rounds 20 to 30. You're just gonna be moving around all the time. Never stand still on Flogger. That's a really important thing. Because if you saw in the clip before, when I wasn't focused, I just died instantly, and that was on like a very consistent round. You know, imagine if it's inconsistent, you're gonna get ninja'd to shit. So I highly recommend that you do not get distracted and constantly move around on while playing Flogger. As you can see, I'm never standing still. Now I'm never standing still. Then get the insta, and I just finished the round. Okay, so this is rounds 30 to 40. So as you can see, I'm placing Betties here on the bridge. This is very important when camping Flogger for most of the game, because if you start camping Flogger from the start of your game to the end of your camp, or if you start playing Flogger from the start of your camp to the end of your camp, you're going to have a lot of Betties. You're going to have a lot of Betties to use throughout the entire camp. Even if you use them in the 30s, you can still have a bunch for the 40s. And if you use them in the 40s, you won't have as many for the late 40s to 50s. But that's perfectly fine. So yeah, make sure that you place the Betties on the bridge in between rounds. Okay, so as you can see, this round start, pretty much what you do is you wait in that corner for a few seconds until you see the first zombie. So let's just go back here. Oh, don't unmute that. So let's go to the very start. So you're going to be waiting here for a few seconds. And generally when you see this first zombie here, or a few zombies, it could be like 5 to 10, you will then see the one on your left, like there. And the moment you see that guy running, you're going to instantly run for the trap. This trap will usually always be ready. You're going to hit it. You're going to stall under there, kill all the zombies. And then right here, hang on. It is optional at the trap to kill the zombies up there by shooting the WAF. I personally don't do it, but you can do it if you want to play faster. So as you can see, you can just wait for this trap. And then you're just going to be killing zombies. You're just going to be killing the zombies like this. You're going to be using the ray gun. You want to maximize your WAF shots as much as possible, because you don't want these rounds to be too boring, because it can be really bad. You can be on the mid-30s and get like no drops, and then you'll have to just use the traps only, and it's really boring. Don't recommend that at all. As you can see, I turned this trap switch on. I hit the other side. So how the Flogger trap actually works, and I probably should have said this, but how it works is it works on both sides, so it alternates. This is how you get the perfect alternation of the trap. This is how you time it perfectly. So you start off the round by hitting that one, and then once that one is out, you hit the swamp side. So we divide the two trap switches by Betty side and swamp side. So normally it's going to be Betty side first at the start of the round, and then swamp side second. Of course, depending on which one you use to end the round previously, it will determine which one is ready for the round currently. So just keep that in mind. So as you can see, I'm killing as many zombies as I can. I'm being as spatially aware as I can be. You can probably tell by my movement that I am playing more to the bridge side. If you don't go on the bridge, the zombies will not spawn there. So long as you hug the very back, this is the safest place to play when you have WAF ammo. So you can see, I just keep hugging there, because I know no zombies will come behind me, so long as I only hug the boundary of the bridge and don't actually go on the bridge. So that is the safest strategy for the 30s, where it's still kind of inconsistent and you can die. As you can see, I'm just trying to maximize my WAF shots there. Just very basic movement, constantly moving around. Never be stagnant. unless like even when you're bridge, like even when you're like with the bridge to your back, it's still kind of dangerous to just stand still. And there's the round. So that's pretty much how you play 30s to 40s. It won't change. And then when you force, you just throw a monkey, or you just get the full horde up and you force pretty much wherever on swamp side. So yeah. Okay, so round 40, it's going to be the same round start as the round 31 round start that you saw in the previous clip. As you can see, I'm just being spatially aware as possible, checking for the stairs in case I get bad spawn. The moment I saw the zombie here, sorry, see, I saw the zombie there and I saw the zombie there, so the moment I saw this guy coming straight towards me, I knew it was a clear indication to run over here, hit the trap, and then start my camp. So in the 40s, you're just going to be playing like this. I'm going to skip through it. You're going to be playing the same way as you do in the 30s. I'm just not going to show you all of this footage because it's literally the same as how you play the 30s. The only difference is it's more consistent in the 40s to 50s. So as you can see, I still camp near the bridge, but don't actually go on the bridge. Get as many zombies as I possibly can. That's more than 10, so you want at least 10 because the WAF can only kill 10 at a time, and you want to maximize the WAF. And now I shoot. And that is pretty much what you're going to be doing until you have to force. Okay, so as you can see, this is rounds 20 to 30. Playing comms room. So as you can see, I just camp right here by the window. Since it's such a low round, all it takes is one trap per round, or one trap per other round. Because the rounds are so fast in here, you actually, in these rounds, you really only get to use the trap every other round. So let's just say hit the trap on 20, it'll probably only be ready on 22. That's just how long it takes for the trap to recharge. It's kind of unfortunate actually. But so I would camp between these two windows, or I'd alternate between these two windows. Make sure that this back window is blocked up. It is the most important window, as this is the main room you will be camping in. For the low round strategy, because you won't really employ the banana strategy during the low rounds. The banana strategy is pretty much just going back and forth between the two rooms, making sure that you don't get caught in the doorway, linking the two rooms. As you can see, that was a very simple round. Whilst you're camping here, I also recommend that you place your beddies the way I'm doing it. As you can see, these are my early stack beddies. If you're in like a really dangerous situation, you can just flop, like you can just go into this corner and use these. Like it's only the rounds 20s to 30s. It's really 30s to 50s where you will, roughly in that range, where you don't want to waste beddies. But if it's a life or death situation, you know, to prevent the unnecessary restarts and an unfortunate down, you may as well just blow the beddies up if that is your if that is last case scenario. But if you play it right, you won't be in a scenario like that. Okay, so as you can see on 22, I'm doing the same thing I did on 21. Only difference is in this round, I do not have the trap, just like I said. So I do not have the trap in this round. I would like to state before we go any further, you can play up front in comms room. This is what Slayer does, this is what Phaser does. It is faster, but not significantly faster. I would like to point out the difference is it does not make you that much faster. The only real difference in speed is when at the end of the round you kill the late spawner faster when you're playing up front, I suppose. But that's it. I don't recommend that new players play at front. Just play the way I do. It's way more consistent. Someone like Slayer and Phaser, they're very experienced in this room. They know how to play up front, and yeah. So this is pretty much just how you play with no trap. It's just very simple. The rounds are very easy. As you can see, I almost died there just even going up front. It's very inconsistent and very not worth it. So you're going to be camping in this room mainly. There's nothing wrong with this room early round. Like I said, it is the main room that you camp, but you can do a little banana right there. Pretty much it's called banana shape because it's kind of like the shape of a banana when you alternate between the two rooms. But yeah, that is how you play the early rounds 20 to 30. Okay, so now on to the next variation of rounds, or next range of rounds. So this is 30 to 40. As you can see, I turn on the trap immediately because the spawns are faster here. So it's not really a waste. You can wait a few seconds to optimize it, but it's not 100% necessary. So as you can see, I just hold this window when the trap is on. There's no reason to go into the other window. It's not the worst idea to block up the other window. As you can see, zombies come out of there, but if you are experienced enough, it's not that difficult to play with that window open. In this scenario, I got an insta, so I definitely want that window open because I want more spawns to come in, because I want a higher chance of getting drops, because it's very difficult to get drops on this map, I find. Maybe my RNG is just constantly terrible. But as you can see, I just play the insta like this. You're probably wondering why I'm using the ray gun during that insta when I have when I'm playing with mule kick. The reason that I'm doing that is because my mule kick, or because my speed weapon is ballistic knives, and I don't think I need to tell you that it is not at all worth it to knife Shi No Numa zombies in a confined space. Not recommended. As you can see at the end of the round, just catch those zombies. So now I'm going to show you how to play without the trap in the 30s to 40s. It's very important that you know to do this because you're mainly going to be using your monkeys. As you can see, when you have no monkeys, it makes the game more difficult. Essentially, if you don't get drops with a no monkeys game from rounds 30 to 50, you're going to be forcing out more in the 30s, and you're just going to be doing full horde ups from 40s onwards, because full horde ups are extremely consistent in the 40s but not so consistent in the 30s. So I recommend that if you were to be in the 30s, like round 35, and you had to get your drops but you needed to either throw a monkey or force out, and you didn't have monkeys, then just force out. So as you can see, I do a little banana. It's very consistent, this strategy. Always make sure you have that window blocked up. Sometimes they can breach. It's okay if they breach. It's just it's always better if that window is blocked. So as you can see, I don't even lose time when that window is blocked because I can still chain the zombies into the window. So the zombies I kill here, I still chain into the window. And right here, I just throw a monkey because I need to force. So yeah, you will mainly be using your monkeys in rounds 30 to 40. Obviously, you can use them from 40 onwards. But if you don't have monkeys from 40 onwards, it's not difficult to full horde. I will show you how to full horde. And as you can see, the most important thing in this room is just absolute spatial awareness. You'll just be doing that for the entire range of rounds from 30 to 40 mainly. So whenever you have to force, you're going to throw a monkey in the spot where I threw it. You're going to come around from the other side and you're going to use 2 betties. Okay, so welcome to the last part of how to camp Flogger. As you can see, I start off the round by using a monkey because I need a force. Now, what I recommend when you force is you always use at least one Betty, no matter what. I really only use 2 Bettys from 44 onwards because if I don't have good enough RNG to even get a drop with 2 Bettys and the Ray that I have, it's most likely that I'm going to have to stop camping there and move to Flogger. But it's up to you. So yeah, that is how you force drops with a monkey. You'll be doing that from 30 to 40, like I said in the last clip. So I get a drop here. It's very important to know how to play these drops. As you can see, I knew that the zombies were pretty much all there. So I just hit the nuke. It's very important that you don't go to this room because you will activate carps. As you can see, that's a double points. It could have helped me with some points. It would have been nice to have more points, but it's not necessary. The only reason you would force out of the room to get a drop is if it were a max or an insta. You wouldn't even really... You could do it for a nuke, but not for a double points. So as you can see, this is a banana strat being employed. I'm alternating between the 2 rooms, making sure that barrier stays closed. Even if they breach, it's okay. If this window breaches, the one that I keep boarding, it's perfectly fine because I am doing banana strat. And then I just shoot any remaining zombies that I can with my ray gun. It's very risky. The reason that I do keep that window open is because when it... the reason I do keep that window closed is because if the window is not barricaded, they can't come out and really just kill you. Like you saw there, it was kind of scuffed for me to get through. You have to be very careful with the situations you get yourself in here because you most likely insta-die if you're caught between a few zombies and you shoot the WAF, because most of the time when you shoot your WAF and it hits you, you will lose red screens. And you die. You essentially have one less hit. So yeah, that's pretty much how you play 40s to 50s. I showed you how to I showed you how to force with a monkey. If you want to force out, I can also show you that. I showed you how to do banana strat, and that was also around with no trap. So it's even easier when you do turn on the trap. So hopefully that helps. Okay, so this is how you'll be forcing out. I just did this on 42 because this was my first camp back and I wasn't very confident in full hoarding in the room. This is also perfectly fine. This is the way I force out. It's slower, but it's almost 100% consistent. As you can see, when I go back into the room, I have the entire horde there. This is how I do it. So I just do a little movement there. Always board up that window, because if you're forcing for too long, like in these late rounds, which you will be, unless you have Betties, it will take longer for you to kill the horde. They can come out and they can easily swarm and kill you. So that's how you force out if you need to.